Hi, I'm Kate from Harrier, and today we'll be going through the Z Pole Quick Start Guide. To start with, we're going to look at extension and height adjustment of the poles. So when you first receive them, they're going to look like this in Z pole position. So we drop them down, you pull down the top section so that they all align, and then you give them a really good tug so that at the top here, the metal button pops out. Next, we're going to adjust the size of the pole so that it's the correct height. So open up the flip lock, pull the handle from the top section, find the correct height for us from the size chart, and then we can lock it back into place. If you find that the flip lock is maybe not as strong as it could be, you can adjust the tension using the small wheel on the other side. So you just make it a little bit tighter, clip it back into place, and that should be a lot more secure. Correct way to hold the hand strap. Hand comes up through the bottom and through so that it's sitting against the back of your wrist, and then it's nice and secure for when you wrap your hand around the handle. Holding the pole like this and gripping the handle really tightly is just going to mean that it's quite uncomfortable on your arm and your wrist. All of the muscles being used are just in your lower arm. When you hold the pole properly with your hand through the strap here, and the force is going through your wrist in the strap, you can feel that all of your core is engaging, which is going to be a lot better for longer distance. To help get you started, we're going to do a practice exercise so that you can get the right technique. We're going to do the drag, and this is going to help us get used to the poles. To begin, you'd hold your poles in the correct position with your straps, but so they're hanging loose from your hands. And we're just going to walk as we would do normally. With the drag, we're not holding onto the handles, we're just letting the straps hang loose so that we can get used to walking and just having the same pattern and technique as if we weren't using poles. From the drag, we're still going to carry on with the normal walking pattern, but then we can lightly grip the handles, and then we can start to plant the poles, and that will give us a little bit of extra power, which is going to move us forwards. What's really important is we get this 45-degree angle, because if we plant the poles here, all of our energy is going to go straight down into the ground. When you practice your walking technique and you feel like you're a bit more confident with it, then you can start to do some running. There are two types of techniques that you can try with running. One of them is where you plant the pole every step, which is the same as with walking, you're just going a little bit faster. And then the other one is where you're planting the pole every second or third step so that you can get up a bit more speed. To give you a bit more drive up the hills, you can use a double pole plant method. If you're doing some steeper climbs, then you can take your hand out of the hand strap and use the bottom part of the handle so that it just helps you get up the hills a bit quicker. Couple of things to be careful about when you're holding your poles. Try not to scratch your nose too much whilst they're in your hand in case you knock somebody out next to you. Don't rummage around for snacks whilst you're on the move, because you might end up tripping yourself over. When you're walking, try to maintain good posture with a nice open chest. Don't be hunched over. When you first start using your poles, avoid bear walking, and this is when your arm and leg on the same side swing forward at the same time. Avoid using them in long grass because you might end up getting all tangled up. Using poles is going to be brilliant if you're doing ultras or particularly hilly events. I'd really recommend that you invest in a lesson with a qualified pole instructor if you want to get the correct technique. So thanks very much for watching. I hope you really enjoy using your new poles.